If we were together in person today, we would be really pleased to be honoring Joan Glasgow, a Dame of Malta and regional hospitaler extraordinaire who does so much for the hospital, for us, and for the poor and the sick. That tribute is going to have to wait until next year, until we're in person again next year. But today, Joan, we all want to send you our best Zoom greetings and raise our teacup to you from our grateful hearts for all that you do for us. We're also celebrating all of you on this call, and in fact, all mothers, for the very creative and empowering ways that you're supporting your families in these difficult times. I don't think mothers get enough attention for these things, but I want to recognize all of you because I know that it's tough a lot of the time. May is also the time that we celebrate mothers and mothering of all kinds. Especially, we celebrate our special relationship with our Blessed Mother Mary. So, in that spirit, and as a thank you to all of you, I offer you this little meditation that is entitled, My Friend Mary. At first, I was a child, and you were my mother. I received your tenderness as a secret from heaven. You were there, smiling and discreet, and I found rest in your presence. I became a woman. You became my sister, sharing with me my children's expectations, my joys and upsets, day-to-day things. You are at my side, reassuring and advising. In your gestures, I glimpse the happiness of being a mother. Life will age me, and you will be my queen. You will open heaven to me, for you already await me at your son's side. Mary, my sister, my queen, my mother, I am going with you toward glory without end. Amen. Today, we want to also remember some other brave women, mothers in Bethlehem who, like our Mother Mary, are experiencing severe hardship, yet still have to get birth. Because as we all know, babies won't wait for pandemics or anything else to be born. So now I ask Michelle Bowe, our ambassador to Palestine, president of the Holy Family Hospital Foundation, hospital board member, and supermom to 5 children, to tell us about bravery in Bethlehem in these perilous times. Michelle.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you for that beautiful prayer meditation. It really brings tears to the eyes, really, just so beautiful. And also, I'm really pleased to look through the pictures and see so many friends, and I see some daughters mixed in, and I see some screen sharing where daughters are with their mothers, and I see daughters in separate boxes. So what a beautiful event this afternoon for the mothers and babies of Bethlehem. We have a short little video that you can watch. It's about 2.5 minutes. It'll come up onto your screen, and then afterwards I'll share with you some of my remarks and some recent pictures from Bethlehem.
Brings joy to my heart to bring people and show them the place where our Lord was born, in a very humble cave, in a stable where animals would stay. Christianity began where our Lord was born 2,000 years ago. Today, the Christians are struggling to stay in that city.
The door is open, whoever will knock at the door. This is the basic principle of the Order of Malta, but also of the hospital. And why are Christian Catholic hospital here? Well, it's Bethlehem.
The number of deliveries at Holy Family Hospital is increasing from year to year. 2018, we are expecting to have more than 4,500 deliveries, which means 300 deliveries more than 2017.
The wall that surrounds the area of Bethlehem was erected in 2002, and that wall simply changed the life of people. That wall simply limited the movement of people.
The hospital is getting too small, and we cannot push the wall. Holy Family, the American Foundation, had the capacity and the opportunity to extend the hospital. We will have a brand new operating theater. All the administration will be on the same place, and that's a good thing. But this is a huge project here to build something and to be more dedicated to women. We have to take care also of the mother. That's why we have the Over 45 Women project. Part of our success, I should say, comes from the high level of skills of the staff, but also because we have the equipment. If not, we couldn't. And when you have a baby 27 weeks, 500 grams, who is surviving, and then we have normal life, this is just because you have donors that are supporting us. If not, we couldn't do it.
At Holy Family Hospital, we celebrate Christmas every day. We have a new baby who is born every hour, a new life, a happy family.
There is a role to play as a Christian to show our place is also here to help everybody.
So that was just a little bit of a glimpse of Bethlehem when there were 500 tour buses coming in a day. It was vibrant, it was lively. The economy was doing well. The hospital was overflowing with patients, but there was always room at the inn. And today we have quite a different situation. So I'm just kind of curious, how many of you have actually been to the Holy Land? And how many have actually been able to go visit Holy Family Hospital? Yeah, it's really, it's such a blessing to be able to go there. And we do have pilgrimages from time to time. So if you're interested, send us an email and we'll let you know when we're hoping the next one is. But since we can't travel to Bethlehem today, we're going to have a little virtual visit. And when I'm finished showing you the pictures and the virtual visit, I would love to answer any questions or comments that you might have. Okay, so I hope everybody can see my my beginning. So today, we're having a virtual visit to Holy Family Hospital. This is the beautiful chapel in the courtyard. It's the center of all that we do. We take care of the mothers and babies in Bethlehem because of our Catholic faith. And at the center of our faith is, of course, our places of worship. Today, we're celebrating the women in our lives, the friends and family members who are women. We're celebrating Joan Glasgow, but we're going to actually celebrate her more beautifully in person next year. And we're celebrating the mothers and babies in Bethlehem. And you can see this is one of our neonatologists with a baby, and you can see how she just loves that baby. And that's what we do best as women. We gather in community to support each other. And we support each other here, but we also support the mothers and babies of the Holy Land. And we support each other during good times and during difficult times. As mothers, as friends, as women, we deliver meals to new mothers. We visit our friends when they're sick. We send cheerful cards, and we care for families when their loved ones are in the hospital. It makes me think of a poster that I once saw in a very funny nun's office, and it was a poster of the three kings rushing in to see the Holy Family in the Grotto of the Nativity. And the sign said, had they been women, they would have asked for directions, they would have been on time, they would have brought dinner, and they would have cleaned the Grotto of the Nativity. That's what we do as women. And they brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which of course are luxuries. And I'm sure that the Holy Family was really grateful. But something just tells me that the Blessed Mother would have loved to have had a home-cooked meal and a supportive friend. Those who support us, they help us to be hopeful. And I think today we really just have to think about the hope that we're creating in the Holy Land. Hope pushes us forward and it helps us to move outside of ourselves. And to me, the embodiment of hope is a pregnant woman. You see this mom here, she's just delivered her baby. This was, just a few weeks ago, under times of crisis. But she's just so thrilled to be a new mom, and you just see the close-up of her sweet baby. So hope brings us together today to celebrate one of the most hopeful places ever, and that is Bethlehem, the birthplace of hope, which is where Holy Family Hospital is. Last year, 4,800 babies came into the world because of the hope that we provide in Bethlehem. And because of your generosity, your choice to support those mothers and babies in Bethlehem. We're too far away to send a meal or send clothes, but our presence today shows that what we can and do is to bring hope to the Holy Land. At Holy Family Hospital, Hope is a healthy baby born because her mom had the importance of early prenatal care, but Hope is also a premature baby born too early and too small to survive on their own. And Holy Family Hospital is the only hospital that offers the hope of life to a child born so small as this. And you can see that little yellow connector. That's really less than an inch long. So you see how tiny this baby is. Today, this baby is 2.5 years old and very healthy, and that was great hope. Hope was in his mother's prayers to bring him home one day, and she did because of your generosity. Hope is the grandmother who makes the best kebabs in Bethlehem, who can now visit her sister because of a laparoscopic surgery that relieved her of having to stay very close to the bathroom at her own home. And you see her right there next to Dr. May in the lab coat. Dr. May is the Well Women Clinic doctor. And you can just see how happy and proud this woman is that now she can move around freely and visit family. Hope is the newlywed Bedouin mother who learns she's pregnant with her first child, and she can see the heartbeat of her child in the sonogram in our mobile medical clinic. Hope is the mother with gestational diabetes who learns to take care of herself and of her baby and can have a healthy baby that's born on time at a proper weight. Hope is the young refugee family that had a lengthy NICU stay and were so worried about the expense. But then they could visit the social worker and they could learn that they could apply for the sliding scale fees, which would allow them to be able to pay just a small amount, and they wouldn't have to have a choice between paying for food or paying for medical care because of your generosity to the Poor Case Fund at Holy Family Hospital. But hope is not just healthcare. At Holy Family Hospital, we provide hope through employment and through training. Hope is in the heart of a lab technician who just learned that his third daughter is following in the footsteps of her brothers and becoming a medical professional. Hope was his last tuition payment. Hope is the poor girl who thought her only career choice was to be a tailor. And on a lark, she took the entrance exam at Bethlehem University and scored the highest score for anyone to enter the School of Nursing. And Holy Family Hospital helped her. Now, today, she is the senior nurse some 30 years later at Holy Family Hospital. That's hope. Hope is our handyman who supports his family, his in-laws, and his intellectually disabled brother because he has a good job with a pension at Holy Family Hospital. Hope is also in the faces of our majority female staff. Hope is the young boy visiting his new baby brother at the hospital and looking around and seeing that the doctor is a woman and the nurse is a man. And he realizes that if he can study hard enough, he could become a doctor or he could become a nurse, or he could marry a doctor or marry a nurse. Holy Family Hospital is respectful of cultural norms, but at the same time, it empowers women and brings great hope to women. And you all know when women are well taken care of, they take great care of their children and make sure their children have a good education. Hope is in the dignity of our women employees, many of whom hold senior roles at the hospital. Hope is the face of a young Bedouin girl who begins to study nursing because of a role model at Holy Family Hospital. And hope is providing high quality jobs for women so they make sure that their children have good health care. And hope was in the heart of John Paul II when he asked the Order of Malta to assume responsibility for Holy Family Hospital. And the order said yes. And hope was in the hearts of the members of the order, knowing they would keep their promise to the Holy Father and to the mothers and babies of Bethlehem. For 30 years, the order has been keeping hope alive in Bethlehem. And thanks to you, this hope has multiplied greater than we ever could imagine. 86,000 babies have been born since then. And that's enough to fill the Nat Stadium twice. Today, 172 men and women work together to help us to deliver life, peace, and hope in Bethlehem. They keep hope alive because of your generosity. And that's the NICU that normally has a license and room for 18 babies. And during the past 6 weeks, we've had as many as 22 because we won't turn a baby away because that would not be saving that baby's life. Hope is still alive during the pandemic. Babies are welcomed around the clock and placed in their mother's arms. This baby you see here is the child of a nurse who works in the operating theater. The baby was born a few weeks ago, and that's the big brother. The NICU is full, but things are different in Bethlehem today. This big brother couldn't go to the hospital to visit his baby sister. They can't race down the corridors to bring their mothers flowers. Only fathers can attend the baby's birth. That's the second sister, and that's the newborn baby. So today, Bethlehem is a different place. The cleaning staff is working double time. The laundry is busier than ever. One operating room has been turned into a COVID isolation area, and the hospital has stocked up on personal protection equipment, which suddenly became very scarce and very expensive. Each person entering the hospital has a temperature check. Outside the hospital, the streets are empty. Everything is closed except pharmacies and grocery stores. 90% of the people have no salary, and the poverty is growing. I know this quarantine is really difficult for us here, but in a place like Bethlehem, because it's surrounded by a wall, the people get poorer each year, and to put this on top of that kind of poverty has really devastated the town of Bethlehem. All movement is restricted, the neighborhoods are isolated, but there's hope because the grocery stores are giving free bread and free rice to the poorest families. The people are sharing what they have. As women who come to the hospital, they can no longer contribute to their care like they have in the past. But as always, the hospital serves all without regard to need or creed, and there's always room at the inn. And you see these two women, these are clinic nurses, and they're just cheerfully receiving patients at some risk to themselves. The hospital continues to deliver babies and care for the sick and newborn preemies. And the deficit of the hospital is growing daily because of the expensive supplies and because of the lack of patient contributions. We can't ask the patients to choose between bread and healthcare. And this was obviously not forecasted in our budget. So our hospital board made a very difficult decision to lower all of the salaries of all of our workers for 3 months to be able to sustain the same level of service during the closure. This is Dr. Salim. He was born at the hospital. He continues to work there at the hospital. He's one of our pediatricians. He's really one of the most loved and famous pediatricians in Bethlehem. And it's personally very painful to know that we've cut his salary by 18%, but we do have to still remain open in December, and hopefully we'll be able to revisit that and make some changes. I know we're working hard to do so. We are praying that things open up in Bethlehem so that people can return to work safely. The foundation is working doubly hard to continue its promised level of funding to the hospital. But as you know, we face great challenges. Normal sources of funding, such as second collections at parishes or parish speakers, are no longer viable sources of funding this year. Maybe it will come back in November, December, and that's what we're hoping. Some foundations are now only funding their primary focuses, and often Bethlehem or the Holy Land is not a primary focus, it's a secondary or a tertiary focus. So we're actively looking for new foundations to share the hope of Holy Family Hospital and to submit funding proposals. So if any of you know of any family foundations or other types of foundations that might like to hear the good news of Bethlehem, how we deliver life, peace, and hope 24 hours a day, we would love to share our story with all of them. We're counting on you to help us share the good news with other potential donors, to share our story with your friends and families. And we're counting on you to continue to partner with us to bring hope to Bethlehem, which is the birthplace of hope. So seeing all of you today has given us such great hope and joy at the foundation. It's really such a treat to see your faces. And we'll share the story of this gathering among us with the women at the hospital. And they'll be so pleased to know, and their hope will be renewed, to know that women across the world care for them, pray for them, and support them as if they were their friends and neighbors in person. So I'm just so thankful to all of you for bringing us hope to keep and hope to share. So if any of you have questions, I'm hoping that you'll raise your hands and we'll sort of flip through the screens, and I'm happy to answer questions about life in Bethlehem, or how things are going at the hospital, or how you can help, etc. I see Ellen Schaefer has a question.
Yes, okay, so now can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. I just wanted to mention that in better times, we would be in, well, right now, or maybe Tuesday or Thursday of this past week, at the United Nations honoring International Nurses Day, and 2 of the recipients have been nurses at the hospital in Bethlehem. I'm not sure who it was this year or whether they couldn't even do it, but I mean, it didn't happen, but it was yet another thing that the nursing staff at the hospital is world class and is recognized internationally.
Absolutely. If you noticed on the one nurse who thought she was going to be a tailor, she was wearing her little pendant, which was part of her prize that she got at that ceremony virtually, because she can't travel, at the United Nations, and I brought that to her. So absolutely, it's a world-class facility that's only made possible because of people around the world, generous people like you. Oh, I see. You have a question?
Yes, this is Rui Dempsey. I know on the screen it says AdMed user. That's because I'm using my work computer.
Rui, but we still recognized you.
But I just want to take a moment, Michelle, thank you and the foundation staff for all your hard work, especially in really difficult times. It's difficult ordinarily, but right now, super difficult. So I just want to take a minute to thank you and the foundation staff.
Thank you, Rui. And I'd like to thank you, Rui, because you have sent me so many different ideas for funding from different pharmaceutical companies or medical manufacturers and whatnot. And, you know, we always chase those down, and we're just so appreciative for any leads. So really,
Well,
thank you.
I'll do some more thinking, and I'll also talk to Hugh, since he's involved in so many foundations or knowledgeable about them. So I'll harangue him again to see if he can give us any more information or possible leads.
Great. Thank you, Rui.
On behalf of Our Lady of Mercy Parish, from which Joan Glasgow comes, we want to add our congratulations to her as a parish and say we're so proud of her, and we're happy to share in her work.
Thank you. I echo those congratulations. Joan is a friend to so many. Joan is always there with the cheerful card, the dinner, the visit, the phone call, really just personifies this sort of hospitality that we as women are so known for. And a special thanks to Our Lady of Mercy. I see so many members of the Our Lady of Mercy group out there. So I really appreciate your solidarity with Joan, but also with the mothers and babies of Bethlehem. And I see people from Northern Virginia. I see people from Richmond. I see people from Ohio. I'm not sure where else, but of course, Bethesda and Chevy Chase. Blessed Sacrament has a great showing here. Oh, New York, I see someone from Long Island. It's just amazing. People coming from so many different places to celebrate the mothers and babies of Bethlehem, who are so well taken care of in the hospital, which is exactly what they deserve, because they take such good care of their families. As mothers, I know they often go without to be able to give for their children, just as we would do with ours. And it's just such a blessing to be associated with people with such loving hearts like all of you. And I really should be conveying the gratitude and the love that the mothers and babies of Bethlehem have. They're really just so touched when they realize that the Poor Case Fund is possible because people coming from, you know, Washington, DC are generous, or people from New York, and they just say, really? They care about us all the way here in Bethlehem? So it's just a beautiful relationship. And it's, you know, as Catherine said, it's sort of women to women taking care of the mothers and babies of Bethlehem. So do we have, oh, Judy Teskey has a question. Anna, can you unmute Judy? There we go.
I think I've just unmuted myself, have I?
You did, great job.
Okay. My question has to do with getting back to the hospital. Is the question of, you said 90% of people today are without a salary, meaning not working. If they were working, if, in other words, in better times, as the world comes back, will some of those be able to, do they have health insurance in normal times when they're employed? Is there such a thing as health insurance for the general population served? And then secondly, I'm assuming that employees of Holy Family Hospital do have health insurance through the hospital. Am I right?
Yes. Health insurance is kind of interesting because the population is very segmented. 45% of our patients are refugees, and so they have a refugee insurance, but it works like our insurance does here, and they have to pay a copay. 75% of our patients' households, that's combined household income, is less than $750 a month. So even with insurance, with a copay, it's very expensive. People who work for the Palestinian Authority have insurance, but again, there's an expensive copay. But the major business in Bethlehem is hospitality. The Holy Family was looking for room in the inn, and today people, well, not today, 10 weeks ago, people were still looking for room at the inn. The hotels were completely full. Oftentimes when I would go, I would wind up staying with friends just because there was no room at the inn. And until this really comes back, Bethlehem is going to suffer a lot of poverty. The people can't cross easily into Jerusalem, those who have permission to work there. And until travel comes back and restaurants and hotels can open, the people of Bethlehem will be suffering. And they help each other the best they can. The grocers are giving people food on credit. But you know, they're resilient people. They've lived through lots of difficult times, and they do their best. But one of the things is, you know, families who had, you know, 10 or 9 months ago when they were just pregnant, they had the money to help pay for some portion of their delivery. But today they need to use that to buy groceries to take care of themselves. So it's really an indescribable experience to think about the economy. Now, the good news is it looks like things are beginning to open up. There has not been a new case of COVID in Bethlehem in the last 10 days. And so barber shops are going to be able to open up for a few, and beauty places for a couple of hours, a couple of days a week with social distancing. But people even don't have the money for that. I mean, some of my friends are saying, well, yes, some of these places will open, but nobody will be able to go to them because of that. So it's going to take a while. But, you know, it's the birthplace of hope, and the people in Bethlehem have great hope. Our hospital is one of the best employers in Bethlehem. We provide employment for 172 people, plus a number of other people indirectly. We purchase everything that we can locally to help the economy. So there's such a multiplier effect. When a donor gives a donation to Holy Family Hospital, it helps people have jobs. It helps people have health care. It helps their, you know, between 6 and 12 or 15 family members that they support. And it just brings hope to the Holy Land. And that's just a very beautiful thing that we do for Holy Family Hospital. So I ask you to keep the mothers and babies of Bethlehem in your prayers. They're praying for you. The priests in Bethlehem are so grateful for how well we take care of the mothers and babies, and they're happy to offer masses for us. You can go to the website and get a mass card if you know someone who needs a mass card. But just know that as much as you're praying for them, they're praying for you, and they are so very grateful. And we at the foundation are so grateful. And speaking of gratitude, I'm extremely grateful for Kate Robinson, our foundation director, and for Kristen Burke and for Anna Harder, who have been working so hard to keep this foundation running remotely. And I'll have to say it's running quite efficiently from afar. Seal Malfris has seen me at the post office many times. We're just keeping things doing. So with this, I'll turn it over to Kate for our closing remarks. And I'm just so grateful to each and every one of you. But more than that, I'm just so happy to see your faces. It's just such a joy to just see our friends. And I really look forward to when we can be together again. And we're praying that we can have our Lady of Falermos Mass at St. Anne's in the fall. And we'll keep you posted on that. And in the meantime, have a blessed rest of the day. And I'll send it off to you, Kate.
Thank you. This has been just such a joyful afternoon. We were nervous about it, and I'm so grateful to all of you for all the many large and small ways that you support us at the foundation every day. I mean, seeing so many familiar faces here today has been amazing and so much fun, and we really appreciate it. During the last 9 weeks, I've been moved by the compassion that I've witnessed within our communities, and with the empathy and the commitment of so many of you to help the families in Bethlehem during this pandemic. Even with your own difficulties and challenges at home, so many of you have reached out to us and to support the hospital. Holy Family Hospital has been able to be a place of peace in the region, and it's really because of all of you. Please know that we are praying for you, and please continue to pray for the doctors and the nurses and all of the staff that are working behind the scenes at the hospital who have been working so tirelessly during these challenging times. And of course, please keep the mothers and babies in your prayers. As you've witnessed today, there's a lot to be hopeful for in the Holy Land. If you would like to donate to the hospital, please go to the foundation website, and Anna is keeping it up to date with information about COVID as well. The website's www.birthplaceofhope.org. I'd like to close by praying the Hail Mary, and then we will raise our teacups one last time together to toast the day. So please join me. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. So, everyone, please raise your glass. Thank you again for joining us in our first ever Zoom, and we look forward to seeing all of you in person this time next year. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Michelle.